All right. All right. You see the title. You see the title. 58 years from 1963 to now. I was born 1970, so I'm 51. So we're going to add 7 years. So that's 58 years. That the I Have a Dream speech was delivered at the reflecting pool by the Lincoln Memorial, the March on Washington, D.C. for civil rights and equality and economic equality. Martin Luther King Jr. later on will be assassinated in 1968 at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. I need to get down there to do that tour because it's a landmark and they still have the same look of that hotel. You know, they didn't do nothing to it, so it's a vintage landmark and it's a tourist site to get a piece of history when you go down that way. And you know, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was from Georgia, and you know, he was a young man on his way into the world of divinity. You know, he was taking over his dad's church. He was ministering different places in the world. He won the Nobel Peace Prize, and he was on his way, but he was elected to lead the fight of injustice for his people. And he was a young, educated man, and they was like, you are the right individual to lead this fight for your generation. And I wonder, did he really want to do it? You know, but he saw that this mission was bigger than him. You know, it was for justice for all black folks, all black Negroes. And it was a obligation that he couldn't turn his back on. But let me ask you guys something. Did you know his moms was shot in in their home church because somebody wanted to hurt him? They wanted to kill his wife, but got the wrong Mrs. King. A guy came in and asked, where's Mrs. King? And they pointed to his mom's, his mother. This man proceeded to pull out a gun and shot his moms and other members of the church just like that. Like the Dylan Roof case in South Carolina, where he went in there and shot the 9 congregation members in South Carolina. You know, so honestly, I think that has something to do with his crusade. I ask people, you know, with all the adversity that we face from one thing to another, what makes you tick? What is your trigger points that make you do what you do? Like for myself, we lived in 7th Street, on 7th Street, near the Navy Yard in DC, 1011 7th Street. was my building number, 1011. And I moved there in maybe 1975. I was 5 years old. And in 1980, that's when the crack epidemic hit all our neighborhoods, and everything went to hell. Everything just went bunkers and chaos because this drug devastated the community, meaning people were smoking and just didn't care no more. Only thing mattered was getting high. And just say the community went down. People that got up and went to work every day, they stopped going to work. Whatever little money that they had, they were spending it on drugs, getting high. Needless to say, my nice apartment building that my family moved in, it just did a 360 for the worse. You know, the crack addicts was busting out the lights in the building, and they were be in the hallway doing drugs. And then that led to dealing drugs. And therefore, I feel like the upkeep of the building, people that were supposed to come and empty the trash and the upkeep of the building, they were scared to come in there, or they just didn't care. You know, let them live in that infested environment. Long as they pay their rent, we won't put them out. It was some nasty conditions that I reflect on. So from that point on, as a shorty at 10 years old, I vowed I'm going to do better than this neighborhood or the hood itself. So I tell my siblings, you guys don't remember because you wasn't here at that time. It was just me and my sister, Mika, at the time before the other two girls came along. So I remember rats and roaches and mice in our building. Our home was clean at all times. My mother didn't play that. But you had to step out of your immediate unit and enter into the hallways. I lived on the third floor. So, you know, it was scary at night to come home. Me and my sister didn't want to come home because our grandmother looked after us when we got out of school. So we had to be home before it get dark, you know, and we had to be in because you didn't want to walk through these hallways when it was dark. So these are my memories of the 80s and the beginning of the crack epidemic. Dignified individuals just, just gave up, and all they cared about was getting high, and so they just lost everything. The community just went down, and you know, uh, so it was the survival of the fittest. Who was gonna rise above the the tearing down of the neighborhoods, if you will. I'm speaking off of what's coming to my mind, but as a shorty, you really don't know the conditions that you're living in, and your parents try to make the best of what you have and want to strive for better. But until you get better and do better, you're there. So you have to deal with the conditions. You know, we kids, so we don't really know the magnitude of what we were living in. So once I started understanding, and it don't take much, me and my sister used to hold hands and jump across the trash to get to the other side of the hall to get to our door. That's how much they let the trash pile up and wouldn't empty the trash. So what are you supposed to do? There's no dumpster outside. So everybody was leaving the trash by the dumpster, the dumpster chute, and it's full of trash. So guess what? Mice and rats running around in the trash. You know, so I was just determined this is not going to be my life for the duration. So nobody can tell me nothing about the hood. All that, I don't want to leave the hood. I love the hood. You can have the hood. Straight up. All my life, I've been striving to live in a better neighborhood and give my children better than I had. And thanks to God, glory be to God, that became a reality for me. And I could tell my mother, hey, close your doors and come and stay with me. You know, you don't have to pay no bills. You know, your days of paying bills is over. But my mom is old school. She like, you know, live your life. You married, you got a family. I don't want to be a burden. And I keep telling her, you're not no burden. It's your time to put your feet up. My wife love you. You love her. So it's no problem. I hear about how in-laws don't like each other. That's not my case. So, but it just boiled down to my mom's is independent and used to her own, and I get that. And I respect it, but I don't like it, you know, because she's still in the hood, not the hood that I grew up in, but you know, an environment where it's often gunplay and these kids running around like it's wild wild west, you know, like they over in Afghanistan somewhere. You know, they quick to shoot somebody that look like them, you know, and it's wrong to be pointing a gun at anybody, not just somebody that look like you, but anybody. This pandemic done really hurt people. People hurting, barely eating. So what's that's gonna bring? It's gonna bring out the worst in folks. So people on the tip like, okay, if I don't have it and can't get it, then I'm gonna take it from whoever they got it. You know, I'm gonna go on the streets and I'm gonna do what I gotta do. You know, so I just tell people, you know, what was your trigger to get you on the right track? I ask people, and this is my backstory of why I strive to do what I do every day and be what I need to be. And that's an independent man that holds his own and take care of his family and strive for everything that I want. I work hard for it. I ain't asking nobody for nothing, but I know ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. So I really take it personal when folks just feel like they can have their hand out and somebody just supposed to just give, and give. No, you're supposed to hold your own and get out here and get your own. Yeah, you can get assistance here and there, but I'm going to tell you quick, nobody did nothing for me. Whatever I got, it was on my own. I made that decision that I was going to do better. So if you don't have that same drive or that same, go hard, you know, that go hard personality or I'm trying to find a word, go hard perspective. If that ain't what you want to do, you want to live at the minimum, that's on you, okay? But everybody that's putting in work and grinding, stay out our face. Move to the corner. Because ain't nobody got time for you at the end of the day. I decided whatever I want out of life, I'm going to go get it. My moms can't give it to me. My parents in general can't give it to me. My family can't give it to me because we don't come from money. So anything that you want is up to you. And then it boils down to you can do it the right way or the wrong way. You go out here in these streets, you looking at death or jail time. I just said I wanted to get out a rat-infested building. So why I want to go to sleep with the maggots? Why I want to go and spend time out my life in a 5x4 cell? You know what my grandmother said to me? You can read, you can write, you can comprehend. So figure out how to make it out here. Whatever door opens doors for you, you walk in that door and you do what you need to do. That's all I need somebody to do is open the door and I'll do the rest. I'll network. I'll conversate and have dialogue and brainstorm ideas with coworkers. I'll make myself available to folks that I know that's trying to move ahead. And I will ask them, do you mind if I share that idea with you? And then I can help somebody just like someone helped me. So this is what I Have a Dream speech was about. Advancement of our people. Getting out of the rut of where you are. But it got to be in you to want to do it. Not nobody making you, but sometimes some kind of devastation event or conditions that happen to you or that you're in, that's what really give the people their triggers that they want to do better. I just told you mine. So what is your triggers? Now the triggers can go both ways. It'll make you do better or it'll make you do worse. So anybody that's going in the wrong direction, I hope you can turn your direction around and try to go in the right direction because it's never too late. But the hardest thing is just starting. And it's one day at a time, one foot in front of the other, and start the journey. Don't just talk about it brainstorm about it. You got to put that action in motion. All right. I hope that I did this piece some justice in 58 years. 1963 is 2021. I have a dream.